Hey guys, Mark here with another fragrance review, this time on the designer house of Hugo Boss. This fragrance right in front of me, of course, called Boss Bottled Night. This is actually Hugo Boss's very first flanker of their top selling male fragrance of all time. Of course, this guy right here, you guys know I've been wearing Boss Bottled ever since my teenage years, and it's been one of my favorites since then. I believe this is the masterpiece of the Hugo Boss line, so we'll see if their very first flanker is actually a success. Now, I'm actually kind of surprised it took them this long. Of course, Boss Bottled was released back in the 90s. It actually took them this long to release a flanker to one of their best-selling fragrances. Usually companies love to throw out a dark version, a black version, or a night version, or a eau fraiche of some sort for their best-selling fragrance, kind of capitalize on their best-selling name. So this fragrance right here, when I first heard about it, it was a blind buy right away. You know, it's one of my favorite fragrances. They did a flanker about it. It looked interesting, of course, with the bottle looks beautiful, and with the night name, I was like, okay, it's going to be a darker version of course, Boss Bottled. So I was really excited about this fragrance releasing, and I really wanted to sniff this one out. Now, a few years later, of course, with testing this fragrance from top to bottom, I'm really interested in giving you guys my take on this one. So let's get to it. Let's take a look at presentation. Alright guys, let's take a look at presentation, the bottle in the box for Boss Bottled Night, and of course we're going to take a look at the box first. And as you can see, embossed here is Boss, Hugo Boss. Some information here, nothing on the top, barcode on the side, some information in the back here. You got the notes actually in the back, that's actually kind of handy there, and some information at the bottom, and your stereotypical box for a fragrance. Now, taking a look at the bottle, as you can see here, it kind of looks black, but it's got like a dark bluish hue to the bottle. If you take a look at it in the light like this, you can take a look and see that it's a bluish color. And just like the classic Boss Bottled, it's got Boss here with Hugo Boss written here. You got a sticker at the bottom, and the same cap as the classic, just a cheap cap here. And the sprayer's decent on Boss Bottled Night. Pretty good sprayer actually. Nothing to complain here. So let's get to the review, guys. Let's take a look at Boss Bottled Night. Alright guys, time to tackle bottle sizes with Boss Bottled Night. The great thing about the Hugo Boss brand is they're probably the most mainstream male fragrance brand out there. I put them in the same category as Calvin Klein. They will cater to the public. They sell a lot of product, and with that they are going to have a lot of different bottle sizes. You're going to have travel sprays, you're going to have even huge 200 milliliter bottles, especially with their top sellers or their new releases. They're going to do that to the public, so it's great for you out there to have a choice. Boss Bottled Night has tons of bottle sizes. You got the smallest one, the 1 ounce, the 1.7 ounce, the 3.4 ounce, and of course the huge 6.7 ounce of juice. This guy right here that you're looking at is the middle of the road one. This is a 3.4 ounce bottle. You're looking at retail price American, give or take. It does fluctuate quite a bit. You're looking at around $40 to $115 American to purchase this fragrance. This has been on the market for a few years now, so you may find it at your local discounter. Definitely look around. A lot of people supply Hugo Boss fragrances, so definitely look around before purchasing this at full retail price. Now, Boss Bottled Night was released back in 2010. Has not been any of my top 20 award lists. Group, this is a woody aromatic fragrance. Recommended age with Hugo Boss, they're generally a really safe fragrance brand. So the great thing about that is they're highly versatile. You can wear them quite a bit. And recommended age basically goes from teenagers right up to your grandpa. Anybody can wear this, even teenagers. Boss Bottled Night, no problem there. How many sprays in wear? I go 1 on the chest, of course, and then 2 near your ears here, right in the back of the ears, 2 on the neck, and 2 on the arms actually. 1 either if I'm wearing a t-shirt right here, inner elbow, you're good to go. 2 sprays. Set 5 sprays with this one. Now, notes. Let's take a look at the notes. Now, the notes here, Top note, you got lavender and birch leaf. And in the mid, we got violet, cardamom, and jasmine. And in the base, we got sandalwood and musk. Your major players in this fragrance will have to be violet's a huge player, lavender, and the birch, and of course at the end, the musk. So let's get to sniffing. Let's sniff out Boss Bottled Night. All right, guys, time to dissect Boss Bottled Night. Let's sniff this sucker out. I'm gonna let you guys know what this fragrance smells like from top to bottom. Let's do initial spray on my hand here. And as you can see, these sprayers on these Boss Bottled bottles are very, very good. That's one thing that I can't complain about. Very good sprayers on these fragrance bottles. Now, on YouTube, this fragrance not really dissected that much. There's not too many videos on this fragrance, so I'm really excited to let you guys know what I feel about this fragrance and what it actually smells like from top to bottom. So let's sniff this sucker out. Now, first thing that comes to mind as a reviewer, someone that has smelled a lot of fragrances in his lifetime, I've smelt this before. That's the first thing that comes to mind to me. Kind of disappointed from the get-go, to be honest with you guys. Now, for somebody that's just going into the store looking for maybe their first scent or something, I'm going to let you guys know what you actually get in the fragrance. Now, right off the bat, the first thing that hits your nose is that huge blast of violets with a little bit of jasmine right here. Now, the jasmine sweetens it up a little bit. It's basically an intro that has a sweet yet watery opening, really fresh, really nicely done. There's a lavender note in here that will give you like a clean laundry type feeling. It swoops in this top, but does tone itself down more in the mid. Now, the violet, of course, in this fragrance is the very first note that's going to hit your nose, and it will continue on during the life of the fragrance. I would say this is a violet-based fragrance. The one thing that really stood out with Boss Bottled Night that really caught my nose when I first sniffed this fragrance was the birch note. Really nicely done. I caught it right away and I found it really interesting. And it's funny to see birch is getting a little more popular now in fragrances because of the use of it in the ever so popular Creed Aventus. Yes. So if you're a fan of that birch in Aventus, I would say, of course, without the pineapple note in this fragrance, you may enjoy this fragrance right here. So definitely sniff it out if you actually like the birch in Aventus. Boss did an excellent job with that birch note. And to be completely honest, it is the only real redeeming quality in Boss Bottled Night. It only goes downhill from here. Let's go into the mid. Let's see what it gives me into the heart of this fragrance. Now, once this thing dries down on your skin, the violet really just takes over. It goes head to head with this beautiful birch note. The lavender and woods play a supporting role to this mid. The one thing that I noticed with Boss Bottled Night is it's a top heavy scent. There's not much going on after a few hours. It is very much linear. There's not much really going on with the fragrance. What you smell is what you get type of feel. After hour 2 and 3, I would say, you get the start of the musky backbone of this fragrance. You're getting basically the tail end of the fragrance in hour 2 and 3. That's not really a good sign in a fragrance. And it is going to continue on until the base, until the end of the fragrance. I felt this one was one of those scents that what you smell off the bat is, of course, what you're going to get during the whole fragrance, basically. It has a pleasing top note that really dried down to a musky, woody ending. There was no real heart in Boss Bottled Night, and it was really missing that development in this scent, to be honest with you. Now in the base, what do we get? It was dominated by the musk. It had some woody notes to support it, but very much an ending that is a stereotypical ending for a cheap designer release, to be honest. No real thought process was to make this fragrance into an interesting release. It was really just a top heavy scent that kind of just fizzled after a few hours, sadly. So let's get to the overview, and I'm gonna let you guys know my 2 cents on this fragrance. Let's go. Alright guys, it's time for the overview on Boss Bottled Night. First thing I want to tackle is if you want to be unique with your fragrance and you don't really want to smell like the guy next to you, this fragrance is avoidable to you. I really think it's something that when I smelt this, it kind of smells like you've smelt this before, perhaps on another guy, or you smelt it before in another one of your fragrances. It just has that feeling to it. So if you like fragrances that smell good and you want to kind of smell like you have cologne on, this is probably a fragrance for you. Now the one thing that I did want to mention, this fragrance has no lasting power. The longevity is a huge downfall to Boss Bottle Night. I'm wearing the wrong t-shirt today because it doesn't keep going and going and going. That's the one thing that really knocks some marks on this fragrance. It's very simple composition, to be honest with you guys. Now, the people that were excited about this being a flanker of Boss Bottled, raise your hand because I'm raising it. I was excited about this fragrance. Contain your excitement. It has no relation to the original. And since the original is a classic in my eyes, this is really a failure to add to the legacy of the Boss Bottled clan. It's nothing new to the fragrance game. It's nice, but with someone that has smelled probably over a dozen fragrances, this may stumble upon and make you think that you've smelt this before. It's just a pleasant scent with a nice bright violet up top and an excellent birch note. It's an all-season frag in my opinion. You can probably wear this as a signature scent. I could really see someone like a teenager or someone in their 30s just purchasing this and being their Swiss Army knife, to be honest with you guys. You can wear this at night and during the day. I really think you can wear this at any time. This is just what's getting released in the mainstream right now. It's a simple sweet top note that gets the sales. Then, nothing much. It just fizzled at the end. Boss Bottle Night got a big budget for advertising. You can see it everywhere, in magazines, commercials, everywhere. There's a big celebrity name attached to it, Ryan Reynolds, and they attach it to their best-selling fragrance of all time, so obviously it's going to sell like hotcakes. Sadly, they missed the budget inside, the juice inside, baby. It's simple and it's cheap. Now, why would you hate this fragrance? First thing that comes to mind is a synthetic-like feel to this fragrance. Now that could be a good thing and a bad thing. It depends. I don't like attaching synthetic to a negative in a fragrance, but it is, of course, a synthetic fragrance. There's nothing really natural in this fragrance, of course. But that would be a good reason to hate this fragrance. It's linear. There's not much going on in this fragrance. It's what you see is what you get, basically. If you don't like heavy musky scents, this has a lot of musk in it, especially in the backbone. This might not be for you. Longevity is lacking. That's a good reason to hate it. I'm having a hard time getting 5 hours out of this bad boy. And being original, this fragrance is not original. So if you've smelled fragrances with violet in them, Fahrenheit, the He Wood line. Let's tackle bottles, guys, for Boss Bottle Night. The first thing that came to mind with Boss Bottle Night for me when I was thinking of fragrances that would be the same as this fragrance is, of course, Boss Bottle Night. The major factors are the violet and your heavy musk as the backbone. These type of fragrances, to be honest, in the men's section are a dime a dozen. Violet's getting really popular in the men's game. Now, fragrances that smell alike or very close to this fragrance, what came to mind first thing was He Wood by D Squared, the original. Definitely smelled like that. And Keton Man, which has a heavy violet and a musky backbone, to be honest. So if you like those two, I really think that this is a fragrance that would be right up your alley. For me, for my violet kick, I go to the source, Fahrenheit by Christian Dior. If you like violet in your fragrances, there's your man. It lasts, it's complex, really good fragrance for violet lovers out there. Now, best time to wear this fragrance. This is the type of fragrance that a lot of people are going to see the name Boss Bottle Night and think this is just an evening type scent. On the contrary, for me, I really think that Boss Bottle Night was really a versatile fragrance for me. I really felt like this could be a signature scent for someone. You wear it at work, you wear it at school, you can wear it on a night out, casually. I really think that this is a fragrance that would be signature scent worthy. If you own one bottle, this one can do it all for you. My 2 cents on Boss Bottle Night, guys, was this. What a disappointment, guys. What a beautiful bottle, presentation, great advertisement, lots of money put into this fragrance. It's a flanker of one of my favorite fragrances in the designer game of all time. What did you do to it? Man. Redeeming qualities of Boss Bottle Night, I'm going to give you some pluses and some minuses. Pluses, great introduction. I really like the violet. The violet note's great in this fragrance. The lavender did its thing. And of course that birch note, beautiful birch note, kind of sets it apart from other violet-based fragrances. Sadly, longevity, horrible. Once you get a couple hours into this fragrance, musk. what kind of ending is this? I really think the thing that really kind of ruined it for me is it had no heart. It was just basically a nice introduction, went to a musky ending, and it was gone, sailed away. So it's missing a heart, and it was missing a couple more hours in longevity. If you gave me like an interesting heart in this fragrance, and a couple more hours, I think this review would have been a lot different. So some good things, some bad things, but overall very disappointed as far as a whole for Boss Bottle Night. Compliment factor, this one is middle of the road. I had some good and some bad with this one. It's a crowd pleaser for the first few hours, depending who you're asking. Nothing crazy. Funny enough, I sold a couple Boss Bottled. I sold a few of these while testing out this one, talking to a few friends and selling them on this, telling them how great Boss Bottled was. So I sold more bottles of this than this while wearing it. Funny enough. So compliment factor, middle of the road. I'm going to give it a 50-50. As far as buy, try, or pass, this fragrance, to be honest with you guys, you can do so much better in the fragrance game. I gotta say this is a pass for me. I just felt like it just came out short, and I really wanted to love this one. You can't love them all, but definitely a pass. Let's get to the rating system and see how Boss Bottle Night does. Alright guys, time to rate Boss Bottle Night projections. 6 bottles out of 10. Fairly moderate, a good scent cloud for as long as it lasts. Talking about that, longevity, 5 bottles out of 10. Fairly poor for an evening type scent. This thing is not going to last on your skin 3 to 5 hours, and it was running out of steam early. Versatility, 8 bottles out of 10. I really think it's not just an evening type scent. I think it's signature scent worthy, so pretty versatile. Overall smell, 6 bottles out of 10. I really think the redeeming quality, of course, the birch and the violet. Seasons, I like wearing this one in the fall and spring and actually summer nights. It's a solid violet-based male scent, but they are kind of dime a dozen right now. This one really ran out of steam real early. Lack of longevity and development hurts the score. Overall, I'm going to give this one a middle of the road 5.